Arjun was a 17-year-old student in India. Every night he promised himself, "Tomorrow I will change. Tomorrow I will study properly." But every day after school, he came home, threw his bag on the bed, and picked up his phone. He watched short videos, scrolled social media, and played games until his eyes became tired. When he finally opened his books, his mind felt heavy and slow. His grades started falling, and his English teacher said, "Arjun, you are smart, but you are not consistent." Those words stayed in his head all night. The next evening, Arjun felt completely lost. He left his phone on the table and walked to the nearby park to clear his mind. The sky was turning orange and children were playing on the grass. Arjun sat on a bench, looking down at his shoes, feeling like a failure. An older man with grey hair sat at the other end of the bench. He noticed Arjun's worried face and asked gently, "You look troubled, son. What is going on?" Something about the man's calm voice made Arjun speak honestly. He told him about wasting time on his phone, about low marks, and about his fear of disappointing his parents. The old man introduced himself as Mr. Rao, a retired professor who loved helping young people. He listened without interrupting, then smiled kindly. "Your problem is not your phone," he said. "Your problem is your daily discipline." Arjun frowned. "I try to be disciplined," he replied, "but it never lasts more than 2 days." Mr. Rao shook his head. "You are trying to change your whole life in one night. Real discipline is not a big jump. It is a small step you repeat every day, especially when you don't feel like it." Mr. Rao pulled a small notebook from his pocket and opened a clean page. He drew a simple table with 3 rows and many small boxes. Then he said, "Let us make a tiny plan, just 3 habits. The first habit, study for 25 minutes before touching your phone. The second, read 1 page of an English story every night before sleep. The third, prepare your school bag and clothes for tomorrow before you go to bed. At the end of each day, if you do all 3, put a tick in the box," he explained. "Do this for 21 days, even on Sundays, even when you are tired, especially when you are lazy." Arjun looked at the page. The plan looked small, almost too simple, but something inside him felt hopeful. He shook Mr. Rao's hand and promised to follow it. That night, he set an alarm for 6 o'clock in the morning and placed his phone across the room, far from his bed. When the alarm rang, his first thought was to hit the snooze button and sleep again. But then he remembered the old man's words and sat up slowly. He washed his face, sat at his desk, and opened his English textbook. The room was quiet and the early morning air felt fresh. For the first time in many months, he finished his homework before school. The first week was very difficult. Some mornings he woke up late and had to study in the evening instead. Sometimes his friends sent funny videos and messages, and his fingers wanted to open every notification. His mind whispered, "Just 5 minutes, it will not hurt." But Arjun forced himself to finish his 25 minutes of study first. At night, when he felt sleepy, he still opened his English storybook and read 1 page out loud. Before sleeping, he packed his bag and kept his uniform ready on the chair. Every time he completed all 3 habits, he drew a small tick in the notebook Mr. Rao had given him. The row of ticks slowly grew longer, and Arjun felt a quiet sense of pride. After 2 weeks, something changed. Studying did not feel like a heavy burden anymore. His mind started to enter study mode as soon as he sat at the desk. He could understand his English lessons more easily, and new words stayed in his memory for longer. His teacher noticed that he was answering more questions in class. At home, his parents were surprised to see him using his phone only after finishing his work. Arjun still had lazy days, but his new habits pulled him back on track. 1 month later, the school held a unit test. Arjun did not feel perfect, but he felt prepared. He read the English questions calmly and wrote his answers with more confidence than before. When the papers were returned, his heart beat fast as he looked at his result. His marks had jumped higher than he expected. The teacher smiled at him and said, "This is what consistency looks like." That sentence felt better than any video game victory. That evening, Arjun went back to the same park. Mr. Rao was there, feeding birds near the bench. Arjun ran to him and showed the test paper and the notebook full of ticks. "Sir, it worked," he said, almost shouting. I didn't become a new person in one day, but every small habit, every take pushed me forward. Mr. Rao looked at the notebook and nodded with satisfaction. Do you see now? He said. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about showing up every day even when no one is watching. Arjun looked at the sunset and thought about his future. He realized that if 3 small habits could change 1 month, many small habits could change his whole life. His English, his exams, his career. He quietly made a new promise to himself. I will keep my daily discipline. I will build my life one simple day at a time. For a moment, imagine you are Arjun. Think about one small habit that could move you closer to your dream. Maybe it is reading one English page, writing 5 sentences, or studying for 20 minutes. Choose your habit, start today, and keep going tomorrow. Daily discipline looks small today, but in the future, it will look like success.